love to hear. Drink a good deal of it, make a good meal of it, stick to your old-fashioned beer. Now don't be afraid of it, drink till you're made of it. Now all together and cheer.
All right, everybody. You remember me. It's Mark here, your one-take beer reviewer, the guy who writes about Chicago's beer scene at beeronaut.com. And once again, it's time for another one-take beer review. I have a lot more that has been sent to me for my comment, but I want to work in something that I bought for myself just to write about it. Actually, this is one that I traded for, and yes, it is an ale from the Crypt. I have such a huge cellar going on here that's just getting hot in the summer and cold in the winter. I'd like to try to start enjoying more of it, so that's what I'm doing. This is one beer that I have only one bottle of from one brewer. It was a trade back in 2004 from Heavyweight Brewing of Ocean Township, New Jersey, which went out of business way back in 2006. This is one of their best-known beers. It's called Perkuno's Hammer, an Imperial Baltic Porter style. This is at 8% alcohol, so it should have held up pretty well, but it is fermented with a lager yeast, so there is a chance that there may be some issues with it. So if I have a problem with the beer, certainly the brewer is not at all responsible for what I might find, because it's been long past its recommended date. This was brewed as a collaboration with Lou Bryson, who is a beer writer and who writes about whiskey and all sorts of things, and the difference between him and me is that he's been published on it. So anyway, let's get into this. We have what is probably a suitable snifter for it, and this has a screw top, which I think we will circumvent if it's gotten a little too tight or gotten some syrup in it here. Still has what you would expect from an aged, almost a stout here, but of course, you know, Baltic Porter is pretty close to a stout, or it's like an iced Doppelbock perhaps, but a little bit of a raisin rum and fruit on the nose as we just start with it. We would not expect much carbonation on something that has a little alcohol and has been sitting around for a while, and we kind of just see a little bit of bubbly around the edges. And it has not gotten too bad yet. Maybe a little bit of oxidation, but it's not really, hasn't distracted so far. Maybe a touch of vinegar along the edge, but also some plum, a little bit of oxidized yeast, and kind of a meaty umami edge to it. So yeah, I probably should have had this a long time ago, but it has held up. It's pretty much what you would expect if you let a beer sit for, oh my gosh, 18 years. So yeah, I've got to get a few more of those going, but some bits of cherry and plum here, and some oxidation, a little bit of paper note. I'm missing the Band-Aid smell or the phenol that sometimes comes from an old beer. So this has actually sat for a long time, and it is pretty much what one would expect. It's the Perkuno's Hammer from Heavyweight Brewing, brewery that's long gone, from Ocean Township, New Jersey, and it was well acquired, and I appreciate having had the chance to try some. So this is Mark, your one-take beer reviewer, the guy at beeronaut.com, saying don't let your beer sit around too long like I have.
Now don't be